I thought it was a solid defensive performance by our team. We were 1 point away from 4 single-digit quarters, and I was really pleased with the endurance of our defense. Just tried to challenge them, regardless of the margin. Can we keep playing to our standard on offense and defense? And I think that's hard to do sometimes when you have a lead like that. And I thought they did that. I thought the players that we put in the fourth quarter continued to play at a high level. There were 2, I thought, outstanding hustle plays late. Woody spreading the court and getting a block when they had a 2-on-0 was an incredible effort play. And then DeJesus diving into the bench and saving that ball and retaining possession. Those are the type of plays that no matter the score, no matter where you're playing, you want your team to make those types of plays. So I was pleased with that. And then for us to close out a week in this league at 2-0 is terrific. No matter who you play, no matter where you play them, and you can have a 2-0 week in the ACC, you have to feel good about where you are. So I feel good about all those things. I will say this: I'm sure there's going to be Fournier question. Don't have a timetable for her return. Will not disclose why she's out. We're hopeful she'll be back soon.
Hey, Coach. I want to kind of piggyback off that, just the defensive tenacity, not allowing a single fast break point today. And even when your team is up by 30, I think you just reiterated just the whole point of your team, just keeping your foot on the gas. How does that make you feel as a coach, even when you're up by 30, that your team's still playing hard, 94 feet, defensive tenacity? How does that make you feel as a coach?
Yeah, I was proud of how they played and how hard they play and the effort, and they really try to do the right things on that end of the floor. And, the big picture reason why you hope you can have a team that does that is because we are so far from a finished product. And the most valuable thing you can have for growth in our game is playing time and possessions. And so you can't waste them, ever. Not if you're up 30, you're down 30, first quarter, fourth quarter. Those are valuable for us developing our players individually, but also our team. And the different actions that you see, those reps are very valuable. So when you can get your team to understand that, then you have a chance to grow every possession that you play, and that's what you want to get to. So I was pleased, and I think that's a mini sign, because we're not that mature yet. It was a mini sign of maturity by our group to be able to do that.
Hey, Coach. So you guys made 6 threes in the first half alone, and heading into this game, knowing Toby was going to be out, was there more of an emphasis? Did you guys come into the game with more of an emphasis on outside shooting and spacing?
No, we really didn't change a thing. The only thing that changed, obviously, was just rotation. We knew that Cotton would get more minutes backing up, and we knew that that would be a challenge for our team at the 5 position, because their leading scorer and rebounder and shot blocker is at that 5 position, and we didn't have our normal rotation there. And I thought Thomas did a really good job defensively for the whole time she was in there. She was physical. Position, her defensive positioning was good in terms of how we wanted to defend, and so that was a plus. But no, we don't really change a ton when players are out, and I'm lucky to have a flexible roster in the sense that if we're missing someone, not just a flexible roster, a deep roster, that we can, I want to say don't miss a beat, because there's no doubt. I mean, Fournier's our leading scorer. Okay, so there's no doubt she impacts, and there's no doubt we missed her on the offensive end today. But we do have capable players, and we do have really good players, and so I was proud how we played.
Speaking of the offensive effort, Delaney Thomas has hit 85% of her shots in the last 6 games. How have you seen her step up, especially against really strong front courts in the ACC like Pittsburgh?
Yes, thank you for bringing up Delaney's efficiency because it has been very, very good, and something that, as a coaching staff, we challenged her to improve on. When we came back from Vegas, she was shooting not a great percentage. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it was low, especially for a player that the lion's share of their shot attempts are in the paint. And she has just been on a steady rise. Being focused, finishing plays, and has become a reliable offensive weapon for us down there. I think it just gives us stability, to have, her and Fournier at that position, being able to finish, and be very efficient. I think that's helped stabilize our offense overall, and I think that's a big reason why overall our team offensive numbers are better this year than they've been in the past. It's been that interior efficiency, I think, that's buoyed that. Because if you look at the rest of the players, a lot of our players have improved their efficiency as well, but in terms of like raw numbers, they're still scoring about what they've scored in the past. I think the real bump for us has been the points and the efficiency in the paint.
It's like going into the game and not seeing the game, what was you most proud of with your team?
I think just what I talked about earlier, what I'm most proud of is how they stayed locked in that fourth quarter and defending hard. We didn't play a great offensive game. It wasn't our best. But can you do that? Can you have a poor offensive game and still defend it at elite level? Because to think that you're going to go through 18 games in the ACC and never have an offensive night, probably not true. You're going to have an off offensive night, probably more than one. Do you have a team that's built to still win, that can win anyway when you have a poor offensive night? And like I said, I didn't think we had a great offensive night tonight, but our defense was good. And so that allowed us to still get the win.
All right. Coach, Reagan surpassed 1,000 career points. Can you just talk about that accomplishment?
Very proud of Reagan. I think to score 1,000 points is a great accomplishment. And the reason it's a great accomplishment is because it speaks to consistency over time, which is something I really value as a coach. Like, to be a 1,000-point scorer, you have to have 4 years of consistent play. On the offensive end, you have to be someone that's stable, someone that comes to play every night, someone that comes to practice every day. And I think that's one of Reagan's greatest qualities, is her consistency. She's our most consistent player. Daily in practice, in the games, I can count on her. I know what level of effort I'm going to get from her. I know what level of intelligence I'm going to get from her. I know what level of skill I'm going to get from her. And she's just continually worked her way into being a terrific player, an all ACC player. And just proud of that recognition for her, because I think it speaks to her overall consistency.
And then could you just talk about the team's performance on the glass today, specifically the sophomore class? Delaney, Jaden, and Alucci had 6 boards. Woody had 7. Can you just talk about their performances?
Our sophomore class continues to be such a core part of what we do and who we are. They were a core part of what we do and who we are as freshmen. and now as sophomores, we've seen them all grow and improve and take on larger roles within the team. We have an emphasis on the glass, and we had a big emphasis today because, they had a really good rebounder there in the middle, and so I thought everybody by committee went in there and got some boards, and the extra opportunities for us are really huge as well. We put a lot of emphasis on the offensive glass and getting offensive rebounds, so that was nice to see.
Coach, looking ahead, you have a big matchup coming up at North Carolina, and you just spoke on it just a moment ago about defense, and good defense does travel on the road if you have a bad night offensively. Looking ahead to North Carolina, what are the biggest things that you want to take away from your defensive side of the ball that you want to take into North Carolina on Thursday? Yeah,
well, I haven't watched them play yet, so I can't really give you anything scout-specific on them. But obviously, we're very familiar with them and their personnel in terms of playing them twice every year and sometimes 3 times. It's a road game. It's going to be a challenging environment for us. It has been every time we've gone over there. There's a lot of emotions obviously involved in the game on both sides, and it's a great opportunity for us to go against one of the top teams in our league, and certainly You know, when you look at how well they've started the year, like I said, I haven't watched them, but you can see the teams that they've beaten and how they've won. They have a lot of balance, a lot of depth. And so it's going to be what you expect it to be, right? It's going to be a fun game, a rivalry game, and I think our players are very much looking forward to the challenge.
Kind of to go off an earlier question about the sophomores, Jordan's had 6 blocks in the last 2 games. Can you kind of speak to her, I guess, aggressiveness on defense?
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. I guess I see she had 4 today. Woody's biggest jump from freshman to sophomore year has been the defensive end. Most people will think it's the offensive end because the numbers are so eye-popping in terms of her efficiency. You know, like she's very efficient from 2, very efficient from 3. But it's a seismic shift defensively. She has an understanding of scheme, an understanding of positioning, an understanding of how we want to play. And then she can figure stuff out as it's happening, which is like a rare quality. Some players, you figure it out when they come over to the bench and you talk to them about it, and then they can figure it out. Woody can figure it out while it's happening. And then she's one of our best communicators, and she asks great questions. Great questions. And her questions are, how do I explain this? Like, her questions are like the next layer of things, not the obvious things. So when a player starts to ask like something, well, if we play it like this, what are we doing when it gets to this action? And so they're not just asking a question about what's happening in front. They're asking like the repercussions of, you see what I'm trying to say? Like they're asking about the repercussions of this particular scheme if something happens. But that means that their brain can go forward in the play instead of just analyzing what's in front of them. And so she has all of those things. And then her body's gotten better. Okay? She's gotten stronger. Her movement's gotten better. She's gotten better laterally to be able to defend and switch and things like that. And so I think all of that, I love where she is. I think there's still room to grow, but I think she has the ability to touch kind of every part of the game when she's out there. So the blocks were great, and a lot of those we were switching, and she was switching on to guards and quicker players that tried to attack her, and then she was able to kind of get it up top, which is what you want your bigs to do, get it up top, not foul.